ThamePo, and it has nothing to do with Mars Diary because I didn't know that was a thing. But
what kind of fan are you?
Why you gotta call me out like that?
Welcome to Hanging Out with Violet and Rose. I'm Violet.
I'm Rose.
And today we're talking about ThamePo.
Heart that skips a beat.
Yes.
And firstly, I wanted to touch on the fact that I really think that ThamePo is kind of a play on words where, because it's a musical based drama, I think that they really played with tempo, and then they decided to kind of, I guess tie it up and make it more, for the fans. But it wasn't lost on me that the name was kind of
It was lost on me. I never thought about that. Never did I put that together. What I did enjoy, and the whole reason I started watching, was because of
Lycan. Yes.
I'm such a fan.
Same.
And I just wanted to see them every week. So that was the whole reason I started even watching it.
I mean, really, it was also because Lego's in it. I mean, let's be fair, because Lego's adorable. And
but Legos and Lycan, so Lycan.
I know. But what I'm saying is, that's what, I really wanted to see.
You?
Yeah. And, because I had seen William and Est on TikTok and stuff like that, but they weren't the draw for me. It was really the side characters and watching them interact.
Okay, so I must have not been on that side of TikTok because I was so wrapped up in a few other series that I did see, here or there somebody would talk about it. But I didn't see them on TikTok like that. So I just wanted to see Lycan. But the show pleasantly surprised me.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it has become one of my favorite series.
Really?
Yes. Yes, y'all. And it's so sweet, so you wouldn't expect it to be.
It's very sweet.
My series, but I really did like it.
I think that they covered some really great areas that I think your standard BLs don't cover. There was a much bigger story than the love interest between Tame and Po. The love was there, but that's not what the show was about. And I think that's one of the reasons why I liked it was the whole group of Lycan and Po. They all got so much screen time, and their stories were so fleshed out, like Pepper and Gam, and there were just so many wonderful characters. And I feel like whoever the director really made sure everybody had time.
Yeah. I agree. So starting with the main focus, of course, is Tame and Po. At first, I guess did not see the draw of Po's character.
Same.
Because he's so chill and I'm so not. And so I'm just like, okay, guys, show me everything I'm not. Thank you. But no, he's so chill. He doesn't speak without thinking. He doesn't do anything in a harmful way. And I'm just like, that's such a sweet character. And I didn't relate at first, but man, he really pulled it together for me. And I actually really adore his character.
I didn't dislike his character. I felt like at first he was really closed off and kind of quiet, but I felt like it made sense for his character because he had been burned so heavily. He had given up his job, his life to help his ex. And then as soon as his ex made it, he was like, boop, I'm out of there. And just left this guy, in this apartment, just trying to figure out his life again. And so I kind of understood how guarded he was. I had wished that by the end he'd opened up more, because by the end he was still really, really closed off. Even with Mars, they're sitting around eating sandwiches together in that one scene, and you're like, be happy, these guys came to get you, and they're like, we're gonna solve this problem together.
I mean, I felt like for his character though, he was as happy as Po was gonna show.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like he could have let his guard down with Mars and especially Tame.
Mm.
I don't know. I felt like the growth, because we all know I'm a character development person, but I felt like the growth lacked just a little bit. Like, I didn't need him to suddenly be extroverted,
Yeah.
just a little.
I don't know. And I love the way they actually showed the flashback scenes
Mm-hmm.
because as he is yelling, not yelling, I'm so sorry, he never yelled. As he is being emotional with Tame for the first time and telling Tame he's selfish,
Mm-hmm.
and like he has that single tear coming down and
Mm-hmm.
it's flashing back to everything he's telling Tame. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
ex. I thought that was a really good way to kind of show his story
Yes.
without doing a whole flashback scene
Yes.
just dedicated to
I
it.
hate when they take significant amounts of time to talk about something that happened in the past. I
Yeah.
want you to reference it and everything because we get that that's part of this character's life.
Mm.
But I really can't stand when they spend like substantial amounts of time. You're like, can we get back to what we're doing now?
Same. So I really do enjoy, or I really do think it was a good way to show his flashback, to show why he was so closed off, and to still be in the current scene and have that current scene play out. And then the way it twists, and it was like, because he was telling Tame how selfish he was, and Tame's like, whoa, like,
right,
everything I'm doing is for the group, you know? So it was, I like that twist where it showed how Poe looked at him originally and how Tame was like, whenever he was like, but the ones that have to leave them behind.
Exactly, because he was the one left behind.
Yeah.
So, and I felt like Poe was the perfect person to go tell Tame, like, hey, you're actually hurting your members by trying to protect them this way.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Tame would have seen it. He was trying too hard to make these deals to keep the band happy.
Where Poe's chill demeanor comes in, because I think with him just being just so even kill with everything that it was like you can't help but kind of listen to him whenever he says something.
True.
It's like he's not emotional about it. He's not dramatic about it. So okay, he must have thought this through.
But you know, because he wasn't very emotional, the scene after he and Tame broke up and he went back home and he was crying, it was impactful.
That's what I'm saying.
It was impactful.
Really grew on me. Also talking about Tame, seeing him fall in love with Poe is like the cutest thing.
It was adorable.
So cute. I'm not for the cute, but the like seeing him smile, like it lit up the room every time Tame smiled. And I was just
he has a really cute smile.
I wanted him to smile more. And so it was like seeing him smile every time Poe did something. And then the jacket with the if you want to hug.
Yes. Okay, so I have something that I took like a whole paragraph worth of notes on because it was so touching in my mind. And it wasn't even the jacket. That was touching. But what really got me...
phone call?
Nope, it was not the phone call.
Okay.
It was the box of essentials. When... I lost you already. So Poe goes downstairs because he realizes in his apartment he's out of everything, okay? But let me explain why it was impactful to me, okay? Before you throw judgment. I will. So as he's opening the box, he sees like his toothpaste, shampoo, everything in there. And then there's a little post-it note in there that says, I want to be part of your everyday life. That was it for me because it was so thoughtful because he's going through the apartment and he sees all these needs that Poe is just like, I'll take care of later because I have to go do this or whatever. Because he's always putting other people before himself. And this was Tame's way of saying, I see you, I know you need me and you need things. I'm going to be there for you. So that was it. Like you see like all those people in all like the BLs, K-dramas, everything we watch, you know, they're like, I'm going to rent out a whole aquarium and we're going to go on a solo date or, you know, here's like a $7 billion necklace, you know, because I love you so much. This to me was better than all of those because it was just like, I see you. And that got me right. I was like, woo, I got to write this down.
So for me, my favorite ThamePo moment. Okay. them being on the phone, staying on the phone
all night.
And Poe waking up to Tame playing the guitar. And we know guitars and BL series,
they go hand in hand.
And they're not good most of the time.
Most of the time, that's a skip moment.
But that was such a good moment.
It was a good moment.
Hands down, best guitar moment that I've seen. I do qualify as a baby BL stan, I think, but best guitar moment I've seen, just because they were talking about their favorite songs, and then it was like he stayed on the phone and waited for him to wake up
so he could play the song,
so that he could play.
I had to admit, the staying up all night on the phone thing was adorable. It just kind of like reminded you of like high school crushes. Yes. You're like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, Tame falling in love was adorable.
It was adorable. And the smiles that he had, like when he realized that Poe woke up and he was like, I spent all night learning this song for you so that I could play it for you.
And then that led to the pivotal moment of like him having the discussions with Purr about like how he feels about him, and you know, and Purr thinking, okay, he'll figure out he doesn't want to be with this person, and the total opposite happens. But like it fit into the story. It was such a cute moment, and it actually moved the plot forward.
It did, because you really saw how much Poe was already starting to mean to him at such an early stage.
Before he realized it.
Before he even realized it. He was like, I just don't want to stop talking to you. I'll listen to you snore all night. It's fine.
Another thing that I think this series did a lot of things good.
It did.
Realistic relationships.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Guitar scene. The heartbreak that happens whenever you're in a group and you're not like solo, how you do things that can harm somebody, but you think you're helping. And episode 11. I will die on this hill. It was the best episode 11
it was
I have seen.
Usually I hate episode 11 because it's always needless drama.
All of us do.
We do. It's the curse. It's the curse of any BL. Yes.
And I will die. It was the best one. Let me tell you why.
Please share with the class.
The episode had a purpose.
It did.
It actually went with the storyline.
It actually did.
It was not some random, all of a sudden there's a girlfriend from the past pop up and causing problems. It was not all of a sudden the family hates the person that they're with and there's a problem. It was not all of a sudden somebody got like super sick and they're gonna die and it's a problem. Like it went with the story.
Even when Poe's ex shows up, okay? At first
I have a lot to say on that too.
Okay. At first I was mad because I was like, hold on, let me speak. So at first I was like, why? Why is he back? And then but I understood it later because it's the chance to show that Poe has grown beyond his ex and is like, I don't want you to put my name on anything that you own because I don't want anything to do with you.
So that came after episode 11. So let me finish with episode 11. So this is my hill and I'm standing on it.
All right, queen, let's go.
So the emotions that Poe and Tame show. And I wanted Poe to have so many emotions throughout the series. And in the second episode, he has that, you know, first episode, second episode, where he's telling Tame, like, you're selfish. And they have that first breakdown. He has that single tear. And I was like, oh, this man, he's about to let it all out. And then he didn't.
He didn't.
In episode 11, though, whenever he's breaking, like, you can see the heartbreak.
Yes, you can.
In him. And then whenever Tame was holding his hand and
he was begging him not to go. Yes.
Begging.
It was
My
beautiful.
man was begging him not to go. And then he was like, but if you just don't want this,
like just give me a sign, anything.
And then his hand, and he took it back. And then we move on to the whole reason he did that was because the CEO chick, what's her name?
Pimika.
Yeah. Pimika. Because Pimika tells Poe that whole story, like, hey, if you love him, this is what he
Mhm.
wants, let him go. Like,
Where,
don't hold him
yeah,
back.
because you're gonna hold Mars back, and that's like
Yeah,
the whole
yeah. Like,
point
put him
is
first.
exactly.
And then after he breaks up with him,
She's all like,
and
never mind.
they go their separate ways. They have the performance. They made the all kill. They're
Mhm.
so excited. She takes it all back.
She's like, and it's still just tame.
Yes. And that leads to the most heartbreaking moment ever in that series.
I actually gasped when she said that though,
Yeah.
because I was not prepared, because I really thought that she was really working towards helping
Yeah.
the group. Like at this point with the all kills, she saw that they had work.
No, she made you believe that.
She did.
The
She was
way she
gifted.
talked to Poe, like
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I thought she was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Really, she's trying to help them.
Same.
Like, she's not a bad guy. No, she was a bad guy.
She was.
But it led to the most heartbreaking moment.
It was the horrible.
When my baby Lego,
Poor Lego,
had to cry, or what is it,
yeah,
Nano? When he had to cry
with his whole body,
his
mind
whole
you,
body.
his whole body. I have watched so many of these series, and I see criers all the time, and there's some gifted criers out there. But Nano collapsing on those boxes and just giving it his all.
His whole chest.
Oh,
Whole chest. That baby cried.
mhm.
And I was like, I hate her. I've never hated somebody as much as I hate her for making Lego cry like that.
Agreed.
But man, was he not an amazing actor?
Right?
Like, all of them were amazing.
No, they were.
They all really played up their part
Mhm.
beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever that boy let out those emotions, I was in it with him.
Mm-hmm. Same. It was.
That's why I will die on episode.
It didn't have the curse of episode 11. Like,
No.
yes, a breakup happened, but it wasn't needless, because that's the thing I hate about a lot of episode 11s is the needless drama. Random fiance from America shows up, or random car accident with amnesia, something stupid that makes absolutely no sense, just to be like, well, we got to get to 12, so
there's got to be some bad to go to the good.
Like, it just everybody's all like, oh, they're together, and then they're like, nope, and then yep. So it's annoying.
Seriously. And then that's whenever the ex shows up, like trying to get back with them because he gets promoted to the big director.
Yes, to the big director.
So for me, with the ex coming back, I wasn't mad at it because they didn't do it in like that cringy way of like, oh my god, the love of my life is back. Who am I gonna choose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. Because I was a little afraid when he showed up and paid for their coffee. I was like, God dang it. I did not need that dude to come back. And then they're sitting out there and Poe's all like, oh yeah, I'm doing my thing. I've got a good job. And
I think like it attempted to show he had closure whenever they were being friendly towards each other. And it's like, oh, Poe has closure. Right. But whenever he gave him the merch back,
dude, that was a slap in the face.
Closure was there. Like, door closed.
He I almost was like, did that mug crack? Because he dropped that. He was like, dink.
That's what I'm saying. So I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it because the way they portrayed it, I was like, okay, this is not some cringy love triangle. This is like he's getting his closure that you thought he already had because he moved on with Tame. But he really just like closed it. Like when he gave him that merch back, I was like, yes.
Okay, can we talk about the unsung hero though of the show?
Can we?
We can. It's Mick, okay? Okay. So at first I hated Mick because he reminds me of so many people that like I see at work or at, in just traditional professional environments. That's like the suck up. He's off taking naps. You got the poor Pose being like performance punished because he can like put forth the effort and take care of things. And then you got Mick over here taking all the credit for it. And I hated him so much because I was like, you're such a jerk. And then at the end, they're like, never mind, let's redeem Mick. And so he ended up being like crucial to them taking Mars back. And I was there for it because I was like, yes, okay, you redeemed yourself. You can go take a nap now, Mick. But I was low key. And then like, because
Mick,
I was
man.
mad. I was mad when Poe met with the Ming and Tay.
Yeah, Ming
And then Tay brings in Mick, and I was like, why would you do that? That's Pimika's pocket. Like,
not the pocket.
the pocket. And then, of course, like the next day, there's Poe on the rooftop getting fired, and I'm like, what the heck, Mick? I was so mad.
He was an unsung hero.
He was an unsung hero because it was all planned. Like they had a plan, and it worked.
Also, like going back to it being realistic in a lot of different places, them showing Poe's best friend Fern, her
being a fan
of being a fan. Thank you. Yes. Like I think whenever you get wrapped up into it, you kind of can lose sight of that they're just people.
Right. Who deserve the same things that we do.
Yes. Yeah. And so seeing her go from being the like president of the fan club, getting Poe the job so she can have that link to them and being like, oh, Poe's her bias and like in love with him and everything, to her getting so hurt when it came out about him being with Gam. And then her even putting out like the negative post on the fan account.
I was mad at her for that. I was like, so come on, girl, Fern, like, don't be a toxic fan.
Yes, but they gave so many redemptions in this show. So
everybody had a redemption arc.
Yeah, no, girl. They show her go through like this whole stage where she realizes how unhappy Per is now. And she's like, wait, he's not my Per if he's not happy.
Right.
And it's kind of like where she realizes like he's not happy because something I did. And then she kind of tones it down, and being at the concert and she keepes looking at
Gam's chair.
And you can tell it hits her so hard. And just to come to the realization. I'll get my words right today. The realization, and then going to Poe and being like, hey, tell him like they should be together. Like that, becoming that fan where you move past the delusion and you move into, okay, I want this person to truly be happy. Right. And I just want to be like a guest to watch
in their lives. Yeah. I just want to watch them do their thing.
So full circle for me. That was like such a moment where I was like, yes, because I feel like I've grown as a fan, and I'm now at a point, not that I was ever delusional enough to be like, oh my God, they love me and we're going to be together forever.
That's my husband.
Yeah, that part. But just to kind of be like, I don't want to know everything about their lives now.
And I was so sad for Per because when they did the press conference and he's sitting there and he finally says, you know, that was years ago. We're not together. That was just a little thing. Don't worry about it. The fans that were there watching the press conference were so happy. Yes. That I was like, y'all are that gross. He was
having that negative moment.
And he's over there like about to cry. And they're all like, yay, we can still love him. And it's like, you can be his fan. Yes. But why? If you wouldn't expect somebody to stop you from getting married to somebody that you loved or be with them. Yes. Why do you think it's okay for you to stop them? And
why do fans think that they own?
I don't get it.
Can we jump to that? Because that's crazy. Not crazy, you know, RM tells us we don't say crazy, but that is unusual activity to think you can control somebody's life like that.
Because they're people and they deserve to have love. And I think that's what I really liked about ThamePo too, was they talked about, you know, there was the family feel that Mars had because they've been a group for so long. But then they also touched on how they didn't have any privacy. They had to be so very careful when they were out with their friends or with their loved ones. And then when it came out, all the drama that came from it. And then they had to release this press conference. And then Gam ended up breaking up with him because people were coming after her. And it's like,
and she played that part beautifully.
So well.
Because she was ready to be a soldier.
Right?
Ready to be that soldier. And I was like, yes, girl.
Get
do
it.
And then she, like Poe, was convinced it would be better for the group.
Because Ms. Pimica, okay, she's
girl,
gifted.
She should be a salesperson. Because
she was gifted. She could
sell me
convince
ice in a snowstorm at this point. Like,
she was so gifted at making you believe that what she wanted was really for the best.
Yeah.
So poor Gam like gave up her heart because she was like, this is what's best for Pepper. And then his emotions when she broke up with him, you know, if Lycan wasn't so popular, I'd be okay if they were all just actors because like they were amazing. I hope they do some more acting.
I literally have all members of Lycan really played their part well.
They did phenomenally because a lot of times, you know, I guess in like especially American TV, when you see like a music celebrity playing in an action movie or whatever, you're kind of like, you know, it's just never all that great because it's not their skill set.
I feel like whenever that occurs, it's because they're just using them as like a cameo or to sell the
tickets
series
or whatever. Yeah. But Lycan knocked it out of the park.
They did.
Knocked it out of the park.
They really did. I also, talking about the realistic things, ThamePo never being able to finish.
They watched the same movie the whole episode.
Never being able to finish a movie. Like, we all have had those moments, if you've been in a couple, where you have some indication of, hey, if I do this or if they do that, that means something's
about to happen.
Going to occur. And for their something to be
watching a movie,
him watching the movie through his eyes, I was like, that is so couple coded, so couple coded. And I loved it. The fact that like he did it more than once. The fact that while he's doing it, he's adorable. True. Like the look on his face.
He's just so happy to look at him.
He's so in love. He's so adorable. And I'm just like, oh. And then it's like, Poe doesn't fight him on it ever.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, he's not like, no, guy, I really want to watch this movie.
Like when they were walking home and Tame was like, do you want to watch a different movie? He's like, how about we try to finish the one where you started?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was so couple coded. Like, so many things they did were couple coded. Oh my God. And can we talk about the green flag jealousy? Like, jealousy is never a green flag, right? Well, I mean, it can be, but it normally leads to something toxic. The way Tame had his little jealous moment
about the ex.
Yes. Yeah. He found out that it was the ex's clothes in the closet. And he was like, nope, I'm putting my clothes in the closet. Nope, I'm getting my mug. And not only do we get mugs with our names on them, they have a little camera and a little music note. Like
that's like upgraded.
Yeah. And then it's like, no, we're not getting that sandwich anymore. We're going to get
the sandwiches.
But it was like, it wasn't like, oh, you have to throw all that away and never have that memory. It was like, no, let's make the exact same memory, but with me, so it's better.
Right.
Like, it was so cute. It was he
cute.
didn't do it in like a mean way. He wasn't rude to him. He didn't like throw a fit and be like, you know, how could you love that man? Like, he just did it in such an adorable way that I was like, it was such a green flag jealousy.
I kind of wanted to have a moment though where Poe told Tame like what happened, because we never got that where he actually understood what Tame went through. I guess it didn't really need to happen, but I felt like there's a reason why 3 years after their breakup, Poe still has all his ex's crap. Like,
but Poe says he's just like, the clothes are comfortable. Like,
yeah, I know.
The mug still works. Like,
that's true.
I mean, and it's such a Poe fashion because
he's like, he doesn't seem like a wasteful guy. He's like, I mean, if I need a cup and my cup is dirty, I'll just use that one.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, I guess I didn't feel like it fell short. But you're really hard on character development.
I know, I am. This is really my thing.
And I'm it can be cringy, cheesy, as long as I'm entertained. So I can see why you would want that, because it does build into the character.
I guess it was kind of like written between the lines. Like you kind of
Yeah.
get that it's there. And I assume they probably talked about it, maybe even during their night-long conversation, because that was just kind of like a montage. So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that probably happened off camera. So, I mean,
and I do think that the 24-hour phone call kind of, I do think they used it as like a
catch-all
be all, like
so that
all
they didn't
questions
have to,
were asked here.
Yeah,
all
they didn't really have to build it.
Yeah, so I do think they did use it as a catch-all. Also, another thing that I felt was more of a shout out to fans, like with Fern's character, that was definitely us. Like they're talking about us guys. Whenever Lego is shipping, I keep saying Lego, not the character
Nano.
name. Yeah, Nano. Whenever Nano is shipping Dylan and June.
Okay. I felt like it was a little out of place. Yes, they mentioned it a couple times, but there was no chemistry between Ju and Dylan. Now, Dylan is my Mars bias. I'm calling it out right now because
seriously,
amazing.
Same. But I'm a rapper girl, so.
And I'm not. So I was surprised that he was going to be my bias, but I liked his vibe. Like he had that confident swagger that I think I mean, yeah.
Was it the rap battle that did it for you?
I don't know when it like solidified, but it was Dylan all the way.
For me, having the headphones on and they're like trying to get his attention, and he's like, "I'm not even playing music. I just put these on whenever I go." Yeah. I was like, "Boo! Thank you, sir." Like me, yes.
Like I'm just trying to ignore you people. Y'all are annoying, but I want to be here.
I want to know the tea, but I don't want y'all to involve me in the tea.
I just want to listen and low key judge in my own head.
Yes. Dylan was a judger.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care if he says he is, and I don't care if they say he was. Dylan is a judger. But no, I was okay with it because I actually thought they were going to try to ship June and Tame.
See, I did too. Okay, so let's talk about June for a little bit, because at first I thought he was actually into Poe. Like he really like put a lot of effort into Poe. So I was like, okay, here we go, love triangle, which I'm here for. I love a good love triangle. But as I'm watching it, and then all of a sudden he just like gives up when Tame decides like, yeah, Poe is mine. And I was like, wait, so he wasn't into Poe at all. It was just to make Tame sure of his emotions. And I was like, well, now I feel like that was a lot of wasted effort.
No, I thought they were gonna set up a Tame June like ship, and I was just like, okay, that like it was gonna be awkward because I was like, okay, they've been
living together, and then also with Ju and Tame, like I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't go that route, because I felt like it would have been it would have just been too much.
Yeah.
But I did think that one of the reasons he was going after Poe at first was because to like run him off of Tame.
I did think it was to run him off, as in like we're a group of 5, like.
Oh no, I thought it was like on a personal level. I did.
I thought it was just like, this is Mars, stay out of it. But no, I'm not mad at the Dylan and June shipping.
I'm not mad about it.
I think it was funny because I love whenever Dylan was like, bro, stop shipping us.
Yes.
And I was like, he's calling out the fans. I was like, that was such a fan call.
But you know what? They are shipped in Lycan. I saw a TikTok. I think it was yesterday evening. Yes.
Really?
Girl, I saw a TikTok, and they had it to where they had clipped different clips of those two, like looking at each other or having their moments or whatever.
William before S came into the picture, because
I don't know. I'm
like
just saying,
way William hangs on Nut, like
somebody clipped it together, and I was like, maybe there's actually like a movement to ship them, and maybe that was their call to fans to be like, stop. It's not that way.
I feel like everything I see is Lego.
I do see Lego a lot
with Nut and Hung. Like One or the other.
I don't even see most of the group. I mostly just see Lego. Maybe I'm just on the Lego side of TikTok.
You're on the wrong side of TikTok. I see group activities. I stop being a biased single. No.
Well, I see William and S frequently, and you don't. And then I see Lego all the time because I follow Lego.
I mean, I see S more now because, like, since I've watched the series, I've actively looked for it. But yeah, I just like the call out on the shipper thing because
we all ship. You can't be a BL fan if you don't ship.
Okay, I feel like I used to ship.
Really? You've given up shipping?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you what your favorite ship is.
Okay. BL ship and K-pop ship, two different things.
Correct.
BL ship, it's a business. Like they pair up with actors, and that's their
on
business.
Purpose. Yes.
Yeah, on purpose. So I feel like shipping pairs that are together is not the same as shipping pairs that are not together, or like actual idols.
So you're like talking about like Hyunliks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I agree with that. I do feel like there's a little too much shipping in the Asian entertainment world. When it comes to BLs, like we're supposed to ship. Like they set it up for us to be super into the couples so that we watch their fan meets, so that we buy their merch and all that stuff. And we wouldn't do that if we weren't like, oh my God, they're so adorable and so cute. But then it's crazy to me when fans get upset when, like, let's take Santa Perth, right? Perth Santa, whatever. When he was with his last partner and then left that partner to become Perth Santa, everybody was like, no, he needs to go back to his other person. We don't like Santa. Santa's freaking adorable. I love Santa. That's my hill.
Like, that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode. But I'm just going to say that
we'll meet her hill on another episode.
My hill's on another episode. But anyway, the point being is we're supposed to ship the BL actors.
Yes.
But yeah, I do think that fans get a little crazy when it comes to
I just like the way they called it out.
They called out a lot of stuff in the show.
Did.
They were
that's what I liked about it. It was like they were doing the call outs, but it was in such a classy, like,
it was part of the story. It made sense.
But overall, for me, the actual story, the actual episodes, amazing.
It was a great show.
10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. 2 pet peeves. Okay. One of my pet peeves is I know for a fact is not the same as yours because you didn't see the Mars Diary at the end.
I did not. I didn't even know that was a thing.
2 pet peeves. First pet peeve. At the end, when Per calls Gam. I needed more.
Dude, for real, right? Okay. So he calls her and she was like, hey, Per. And then it's just like in scene. And then they walk out and there she is in front of the most K-pop van ever. Like everybody, like you see that van and you know. So I was like, how did she even get it? Like they just suddenly made up because he decided.
Yeah,
I was so confused on that.
I needed to date something. Like
something where they were like, look, we try to be apart, but we just love each other. And how's this going to work? I also have a pet peeve, but go ahead and give your second one.
Mars Diary after the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can we just say Mars Diary was just used as, you can't say, you don't know.
I don't know.
It was just used as product placement, and I do not think it actually really gave to the story in a beneficial way. I think it was just for product placement.
Probably. Because there wasn't a lot of product placement in the show.
To have Nano be like, hey, I'm shipping y'all, and then Dylan be like, bro, stop shipping. And then go to Mars Diary like 20 minutes later, and him and June, and they're dyeing the hair, and then Dylan's like laid back and he's giving June those puppy dog eyes, and I was like, y'all just told us
like, don't ship us,
don't ship,
but let me help you ship us,
but let me give you a reason to ship. And I was like, no, I didn't need it, don't do it. I would have loved to have seen that actually in the show, So whenever Nano does ship them,
it makes
he's
sense.
like, it makes more
Because
sense.
that was my issue. Like, I don't mind that Nano was shipping them. I just needed a reason why. I felt like it wasn't covered.
I feel like everything they did in Mars Diary could have been a quick clip in the show, and it would have been way more better.
All right, my pet peeves. Number one, I have two. Number one, Pimika. Okay. The reason I don't like her is because the whole time she was this evil CEO, right, that convinced everybody that she was doing what was best for the team and everything. And then you get to the end and she like all of a sudden has like a conscience and lets them go from their contract and is like, oh, I canceled the live to Korea, blah, blah, blah.
The girl that loves character development
because
is a character developing. Let's get there, guys. Her because it's character development.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It was because there was no development to that stage. It was just like
it was seeing Mars go through thick and thin with each other. It was seeing Nick give up like everything to help Poe do the whole concert breakdown. Like, I can't with you.
I felt like it was too perfect. I kind of wanted Mars to just be like, you know what, Pimika, like, middle fingers to
but
you.
It was
like,
happy-go-lucky.
It was. So DL, I guess
so it was gonna end perfect. Like,
okay,
let's be honest.
Fine.
Most of them do.
That's true.
All
okay.
Right. Pet peeve number 2.
Last pet peeve is at the very end of the show, and it has nothing to do with Mars Diary because I didn't know that was a thing. But
what kind of fan are you?
You gotta call me out like that. Please. You think somebody's your best friend, man.
And then they don't watch Mars Diary.
Okay. My last pet peeve is I hated how at the very end, right? Poe and Tame, they live together. They're having their little bro dorm or whatever. And then they leave, but they still have to leave in separate taxis and pretend like they don't know each other. And I really wanted them to be like, especially now that they were independent, I was really hoping that they were going to be like, look, fan us or not, we are people, we're human, we're going to have our relationships. This is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, whatever. And I really wanted that moment, and I didn't get it. And I felt like that's still going to come back later because
I feel like because it was like they just got past the breakup, back together, her and Gam back together. I felt like it was, in the eyes of ThamePo, it was too soon to throw that in there.
And that could be. I felt like that's something that they're still going to have to address in the future.
I mean, whenever I saw it, I did go,
yeah.
But it wasn't like a pet peeve like Mars Diary was. Like, I almost didn't watch it because I was just like, no, it ended so good.
It did. It really did.
The staring into the eyes and, oh, we're still not going to finish this movie. Walk away. And I was like, yes, that was perfect ending. And it's like, Mars Diary. I don't need it. You should have put that in.
It should have been a clip earlier. Yeah.
So, all right. So, like I said, 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. And if you haven't seen it and you just heard us talk about everything, so sorry.
Sorry. It's still worth watching.
But it really is. I mean, I don't think we could do it justice on the way we talk about it. It really was a great series. So, and if you've not been broken by Lego crying, I can't be the only one. Neither can she. So go get your heart broken. That's when the heart skipped the beat.
It's true though. I was not prepared for Lego's whole body crying.
No. All right. 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. Would definitely recommend.
Definitely. So this has been Hanging Out with Violet and Rose, and Ride or Die. Hang out with us again.
See you next week.
Bye.